Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on February 3rd, 2018. I have 7 strategies with my game, Decoding the Powerball. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This represents all 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 4, 7, 14, 46, and 59. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And then I take the last 3 drawings of numbers and I transfer these numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Then I do the same thing with orange, then green, and blue, and purple. I have 5 different colors, one to represent each one of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So for this drawing here, I have 15 red numbers, 12 orange, 18 green, 11 blue, and 13 purple. Okay, over here to the far right, this 199. This tells me how many color code drawings I kept track of so far. And out of this 199 drawings, 105 have come up a 3-color combination. 73 have come up a 4-color combination. 18 have come up a 2-color combination. And only 3 times in 199 drawings have all 5 colors come up together. And never have just 1 color come up. Okay, so this number right here, this number 2, this tells me how many colors just came up in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so you can see that there's 4 blue numbers and 2 orange for 2 colors total. Okay, so since hardly ever do all 5 colors come up, the strategy is try to guess which one of these colors won't be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no orange numbers will be coming up in the next drawing. And the reason why is because orange was really hot from here down to here. Okay. Now I missed these last 2 drawings, but then it came back with 2 numbers. Okay. So I'm just going to guess that it's due to miss again. So I'm going to guess that no orange numbers will be coming up. So I'm going to eliminate the orange numbers off of the game card. Okay, so to speed things up, I'm just going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far with no orange numbers to it. Okay, so when I block out a number like this, this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so also what I'm doing is I'm taking $3 and I'm buying a Powerball ticket with the Power Play. Okay, so I'm betting $3 that none of these orange numbers will come up. Okay, so if I'm correct with my pick and none of these orange numbers come up, I'm 1 step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, and how this works is the master for the numbers is up at the very top. And over to the far right are the numbers that just came up in the lottery. Again, it was the 4, 7, 14, 46, and 59. Okay, so this tells me that this was a 4-group combination. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to see that there's 7 groups here. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll over so you can see the whole card. So again, there's 7 groups. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 2 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how I use this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings. Okay, so I like to break it into 5 drawings because I can see how many hits there were within this group of and within the 5 drawings. Okay, so my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this group of 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the following group of 5 drawings. Okay, so or in vice versa. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no 50 numbers will be coming up. And the reason why is because as I look back through the history of the 50 numbers, I see that this 5 was pretty hot. Okay, this had more than 2 hits to it. This was pretty hot. This was really hot. This had more than 2 hits. Okay, this was pretty hot. This had more than 2 hits, pretty hot. And then finally there was 1 hit down here. Okay, so as I look through all these groups of 5 drawings, I just see it's really congested. So I just think that it's going to get pretty sparse up through here. Okay, more like over here. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that there's going to be some misses that will be coming up. So I'm going to eliminate the 50 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm just going to blow this back up. Go back to the game card. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Again, with no orange numbers from the color code, and now I'm going to parlay that $3 bet with no 50 numbers from the individual numbers. Okay, so I'm going to make a bunch more parlays to this, so that means that I'm going to keep on adding bets to this, to that $3 bet. Okay, so again, if I'm correct with my 2 picks here, then I'm 2 picks closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so now if I'm correct so far, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should land within these colored numbers that are still left on the board. Okay, so the strategy, the overall strategy is to eliminate numbers off of this game card so you just have less numbers to choose from. Okay, and if you're correct with them, then you're going to have a much better chance at picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically I took all the Powerball numbers and divided it into 4 different groups, and I put color to the groups. Okay, so when the Powerball numbers land within these 4 groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so this is for the red area, the blue, the orange, the green. Okay, so I have 15 of these option cards, and they all kind of look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so over here you can see that the red is in this area, and over here you can see that the red holds this area. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess where the 0 is going to pop up. Okay, so if I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers were going to come up in the past drawing, then I could have eliminated all these red numbers and really reduced the odds for myself. Okay, and really reduce the numbers that I have to choose from as well. Okay, so my pick here for option card for group 1 here, my first pick is option card number 11, no red numbers. So I give you, show you what the option cards look like. Okay, so this is option card 11, and I think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I don't think any of these red numbers are going to come up in the drawing. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card. I'm going to scroll to the right, and this is what the game card looks like so far. Again, with no orange numbers from the color code, no 50 numbers from the individual numbers, and now no red numbers from option card number 11 from group 1. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1, and my next pick is going to be option card number 12, no blue numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm picking this one is because I think that this is going to triple up here. Okay, so as I go through the history of the stats, you can see that every once in a while it does triple up on the zeros here. Okay, so here's another triple right here. Okay, and as I keep on going down, there's really no triples here in the blue area. Okay, except for way down here. Okay, so I just think that it's due to have another triple or quadruple set of zeros here. Okay, so as you look through the blue area, you can see that there hasn't been any triple zeros in a long time. Now here's a good opportunity for it to triple up. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that none of these blue numbers will be coming up in the lottery. So I'm going to eliminate these blue numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far with those no blue numbers to it. Okay, so I'd like to show you how I use my game in case you want to use my game to pick your own numbers. Okay, and I'd like to show you step by step on how I use it. So, you know, if a number does come up in that blue area, then you can say, well, that's where he made his mistake. He shouldn't have taken that blue area. Okay, so if you think that a number is going to hit, if you think that I'm wrong, and you think that one of these numbers will be coming up, then which number is it? Okay, so that's the whole thing about my game. It gives you options. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1, and my next pick is option card 13, no blue numbers. Okay, now the reason why I'm taking this one is because every once in a while you can see that a 1 will follow another 1. Okay, so that happens quite a lot. Okay, so but it hasn't happened in this blue area forever. Okay, actually I don't think it's ever happened. Okay, so here's a 1 that follows a 1 right over here. Okay, here's 1 right here. Okay, but you can see in this blue area it's never happened before, or maybe it's just happened once at the very beginning. No, it's never happened before. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that it's due to happen. Okay, so I'm going to guess that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I don't think that any of these blue numbers will be coming up in the lottery, so I'm going to eliminate these blue numbers off of the game card. So I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so you can see that whittling down the numbers here, okay, step by step. So hopefully I made all the correct picks, and the 5 white correct winning Powerball numbers are still on the board here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1 for one more pick, and that's option card 15, no red numbers. Okay, so here's another thing where I think a 1 is going to follow a 1 just because it just hasn't happened in a very long time. Okay, so I think it's happened at the very beginning. Yeah, 1, no, it's never happened here either. Okay, so as you look at other ones, here's a 1 that's followed a 1. Okay. And as I work my way up through, maybe you could see others like here, a 1 that followed a 1. Okay, so it just happens a lot. Okay, so but it's never happened here. So I just think that it's due to happen. So I'm going to eliminate these red numbers because I don't think they're going to be coming up in the lottery. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm all done picking from group 1. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next strategy. Strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So 3 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is down here is where I keep the stats. Okay, so this is the stats for the red area. That's right here. Okay, so this 0 underneath it, that means that none of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in that red area. And of course, this 2 means that 2 out of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in that red area. Okay, so here's where I like to keep track of every 5 drawings because it shows me a majority of things. Okay, so here you can see that there's 3 zeros. Okay, so when that happens, I color this blue in the background for cold. Okay, so 3 zeros, 3 misses means that it's cold, and 3 hits, I color it red for hot. Okay, so if there's 3 hits within these 5, then it's pretty hot. Okay, so as I go through the history of things, okay, you can see that if this red area gets really hot, okay, then eventually it's going to turn cold. Okay, because that's how random works. Okay, so when I think that there's going to be a lot of blue here, I'm going to guess that none of these red numbers will be coming up. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm actually going to guess that no blue numbers will be coming up. Okay, so as I go through, you can see that it got pretty hot here, and now I think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I don't think any of these blue numbers will be coming up in the lottery, so I'm going to eliminate these blue numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see these blue numbers are the 10, 42, and 68. Okay, so how this works is the 68 shares the square with the 58 here. Okay, so as I go back to this group 2, okay, what I'm doing is I'm keeping track of groups of numbers and trying to predict whether they're going to come up in the lottery or not come up. Okay, so by the 58 sharing the square with the 68, this just means that I'm keeping track of a certain group of numbers, and this is the 2, 10, 18, 26, 34, 42, 50, 58, and the 68 as a group. Okay, so if I don't think any of these numbers are going to come up, I'm going to eliminate the 58 and the 68 and all these other numbers again as a group. Okay, so I don't think they're going to come up, so I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left now. And you can see underneath here, group 2, option card number 1, no blue numbers, and now you can see that there's nothing here. Okay, so again, hopefully the 5 white winning Powerball numbers will be within one of these colored numbers that are still on the board. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, and I'm going to stay here in option card number 1 because I think that no purple numbers will be coming up. Okay, so here's the stats for the purple. Okay, and as I go down through, you can see that things got really hot here. Okay, so now I just think that they're going to cool off, and I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I don't think any of these purple numbers will be coming up in the lottery, so I'm going to eliminate those purple numbers off of the game card. So that's the 13, 21, and 29. So I'm going to move over to the left here, and you can see that all those numbers are gone. Okay, so I'm really getting down there on the numbers, but I'm going to go back to group 2. And my next pick is option card number 3, no purple numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the purple. And as I go down through, you can see that things got really, really hot here. And now I think there's going to be another 0 right here. Okay, so I don't think any of these purple numbers will be coming up in the drawing. So I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see that's the 66, and that shares the square with the 8 and the 33 as well. So I'm going to take those off of the game card here. Okay, so you can see that they're gone. Okay, and I'm going to go back for one more pick here. Actually, 2 more picks. My next one is option card number 11. No orange numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the orange right here. And as you go back through, you're going to see that it got really, really hot here. Okay, and now I think that it's going to turn cold. So I think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, and now I'm going to go back for one more. Okay, option card 15, no brown numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the brown, and as I go down through, you can see that things got pretty hot, and then down here got really hot, so I just think that there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these brown numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see it's the 23 that's left. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll to the left. Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see that the 23 is gone. Okay, so I'm all done taking the numbers off the board. Okay, so I started with 69 numbers, and now I'm down to 1, and 4 is 5, 6, 7. Okay, so if I'm correct with all my picks, and I correctly eliminated all the numbers that won't be coming up, okay, the 5 white winning numbers will be within these numbers that are still on the board. Okay, so now I just need to pinpoint which ones they are. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the next strategy. Strategy number 5, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So there's going to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. Okay, so I like to keep track of that and try to predict what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so how this works and what you're looking at here is this 243. This is how many drawings I kept track of so far. And that's since October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay, so out of this 243 drawings, 121 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers. 122 drawings have been the majority of even numbers. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers. Okay, so when I pick my numbers, I want at least 3 of them to be even, okay, because that will give me the majority. Okay, so as I go forward, I'm not going to pick from any of the rest, okay, but I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so the high numbers are in the red, okay, and out of the 243, 120 have been the majority of high numbers. 123 have been the majority of low numbers. Okay, and then I have left and right. Okay, and 122 have been the majority to the left side, and 121 drawings have been the majority to the right side. Okay, and the last thing I have is this red and blue, and 138 have been the majority to this red area, and 105 have been the majority to the blue area. Okay, so again, the only one I'm going to pick is the evens. I think there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers. Okay, and one more thing, what I have here is this is for the Powerball number itself. Okay, so this is for this red number. Okay, so there's 26 red numbers total. So in this column here, I keep track of low and high numbers. Okay, so blue means that it's a low number of 1 through 13, and red means it's high, 14 to 26. Okay, so you can see that this red was a high number, okay, because it's red. Okay, and in this column here, red number means that it's odd, and blue means that it's even. So you can see that the 22 is an even number, so it's colored blue. Okay, so just looking at this real quick, I'm going to guess that this red number, that red is probably going to go on a little streak of 2 or 3 in a row, maybe even 4. Okay, so I think that this is going to be a high number. Okay, and I also think that this is going to be a red number as well. Okay, so I think it's going to be a high odd number. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, and scroll to the right, and again, the 50-50 picks, the only one that I'm going to pick is I think there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers. Okay, so off to the next strategy. Strategy number 6, picking the numbers I hope will hit from groups 1 and 2. Okay, so what I do here is I'm just going to pick from group 2 for now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to option card number 1. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to do this is I want to show you how I do things here. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, okay, I think there's going to be lots of hits in the orange areas in group 2. Okay, so what I mean by that is since I have 15 of these option cards, I have 15 orange areas. Okay, and out of these 15 orange areas, I think there's going to be a lot of hits. So I keep a track record of this as well. Okay, and I call it the Group 2 Overview. So I'm going to go to that right now. This is where I keep the Group 2 Overview. Okay, so of all those red areas, okay, in the last drawing, there was 6 hits and 9 misses within those 15 red areas. Okay, so the magic number here is 8. Okay, so since there's 15, 8's right in the middle. Okay, so if there's 8 or more misses, I color this blue for cold. If there's 8 or more hits, I color it red for hot. So you can see that there's a 9 here in the miss column. Okay, so there's more than 8, so I color this blue. And over here, you can in the orange, you can see that there was 10 hits and 5 misses, so I color this red for hot. Okay, so what that does is, looking at this, it helps me able to predict what's going to be hot and cold as a group. Okay, so if I think something's going to be cold, then I want to pick a lot of misses in there. Okay, and what I'm doing is trying to guess what's going to be hot, and I think it's going to be this orange area. I think there's going to be another red area here, which means I think there's going to be a lot of hits to it. Okay, so as I go back to group 2, what I'm looking at here is this orange area of the 3 down to the 59. So as I go back to the game card, I'm going to look what's left between the 3 and the 59. So you can see that there's a 0 here. Okay, there's no numbers there. So as I go back to option card number 2, I'm going to go from the 17 to the 24. Okay, and what's left is the 22. So I wrote that down. Okay, so I did that with all 15 option cards, and these are the numbers that came up. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the last strategy, strategy number 7, picking my numbers. Okay, so the numbers that I'm going to go with for this drawing are the 1, 6, 22, 46, and 47. Okay, so with that combination of numbers, this will give me 11 hits and 4 misses in that orange area. Okay, so as I go back to the Group 2 overview, I think that this is going to be an 11 on this side, on the hit side, and a 4 on the misses. Okay, so that's what that will look like, and it will be red. Okay, so again, the numbers that I'm going to go with is the 1, 6, 22, 46, and 47. Okay, so the 6, 22, 46, and 47 all came out pretty good. So now I just have to decide what's going to come up. Is it going to be the 30 or is it going to be the 1? Okay, and I went with the 1. Okay, and the reason why is here in the individual numbers. As I scroll over to the right here, you can see that there was 3 of these 4 group hits in a row. Okay, so I think it's going to go back to 3, where it's going to hit 3 groups. Okay, so what that means is that the 1 and the 6 is in a group. The the 22 is in its own group, and the 46 and 47 is in its own group. So that will give me 3 groups total. Okay, so that's more or less why I'm picking that. Okay, because I think there's going to be a 3 there. So again, I'm going to go with the 1, 6, 22, 46, and 47. Okay, folks, I appreciate you watching. If you're interested in getting my game, you can go to my website at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball, or you could email me personally at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, that's decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Okay, folks, if you like the content on this channel, then please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button for me. And as always, best of luck with your picks.